apart from doing that show and your guys' group, you said you're pursuing culinary. What got you into that?
I've always been into cooking and stuff like that. You know, from being like a little kid, I used to barbecue a lot with my dad and shit. And my dad could barbecue, and then I would go and like make a side or something like that, like mac and cheese or some shit like that. And then I would just kind of gradually like cooking more. And I used to be an electrician, and when I would be out of work, like during like the winter months or something like that, I would go and I would do barbecue plates and sell them out of my house. And I've always been pretty good at cooking. And then like now I would decided to go to culinary school. I was like, oh, I don't need that shit. I don't need that shit. And I started going, and like my cooking has improved like tenfold, like just my organization and everything. And I love it. I love it.
No, that's true, man. Going well, one you learn the language, you learn subtle things that
Mm-hmm.
make sense. I remember, I didn't. Did you have you ever met anybody who went to comedy school?
No.
All right, so it's the same thing with comedy school. Like they have for the shit that you probably go like, I don't know if you ever tried to categorize your comedy. So I remember I would watch comedians and then
Mm-hmm.
I would just go like not be like not really looking at the material, looking more at like what made the material funny, and what about it that was it funny? Not just like the lines, but what
Mm-hmm.
about it was funny? And then oh fuck, I lost my train of thought right there. I'm fucking high.
You're talking about people at comedy school.
Yeah, so people go to comedy school, and so when I watch comedy, what I would do is I would watch it, and then I would see a pattern, and I would just name it something because I didn't know what it was called.
Mm-hmm.
And so one thing that I would notice was the callback,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know that the proper name was callback, so I called it a loop de loop because I just noticed a pattern when someone would say something,
Yeah.
and then down the line they would bring it back together.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, so it loops. I was like, oh, I just call it a loop de loop so I could
Uh-huh.
keep it in my head. And so then I would like practice loop de loops in my jokes.
Uh-huh.
And then and then and then I remember I was talking to I'm sure you've met him, Curtis, CT3.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was talking to him. He went to comedy school.
Uh-huh.
And so I was talking to him about like how I write, and I was like, yeah, man. So I'll just look at different stuff, and I'll see if I can get a loop de loop in there. And then he's like, what? I was like, a loop de loop. It's like when someone tells a joke and then you go back. He's like, it's called a callback. I
Uh-huh.
was like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't fucking know.
Mm-hmm.
So in your comedy, do you do any type of
Any loop de loops?
do you loop de loops, or do you like do you know that there's a system and you name it something, or
Yeah, like I've watched kind of like I think listening to all those podcasts, and I have watched like YouTube videos on like the 7 ways that make people laugh, and shit like that. And it's like you have callbacks,
I have a couple,
tags.
man. I'll even recommend them.
And it's like fucking let's see, you got callbacks, and I try and work them all in, rules of three and shit, and um
I just bought this one, but I haven't read it.
the 10 Commandments of comedy.
Yeah. And then I have another one. I have another one that's
The
Pete, it's the same guy, Pete Garrett. I think is it the name of the author.
Jane Perrett.
Gene Perret. Yeah.
Sounds like a funny guy.
He was like the kind of writer back in the day. He did like back in the day writing for like shows and stuff, late night shows, comedy shows, and
The biggest thing I think with that someone helped me with, I can't remember exactly who. It was one of our guys, and I remember he told me, he goes, when you go up there and you like are talking about shit, he goes, you have to make sure that like you believe it, because the audience could tell when you're, how do you, because it basically the way the audience is laughing, the reason why they're laughing is because they're in it with you.
yeah,
They're believing what you're saying no matter what it is, you know what I mean? And you have to make them believe it. Why are they going to believe it if you don't even fucking believe yourself? Kind of thing, So like you have to even if it's off the wall, you have to say it with such conviction,
yeah.
And I remember that helped me out a lot. And like early is like, okay, like if you say it like I fucking mean it. You know what I mean?
It's a character.
Yeah.
And also you just have to stay in character.
Yeah, it's a characterized version of myself. You know what I mean?
It's like a method actor. So you just go
Yeah.
out there and you just stay in character for whatever it is. So would you say your comedy is an amplification of maybe things you don't always talk about, or is it more an amplification of just who you are?
I think it's amplification of maybe who I am and who I was, and because I tried the whole like self-deprecating thing. You know what I mean? For like, because everyone's like, oh, you got to be self-deprecating to be funny.
Punch down, not
Yeah,
up.
and it's like, but that's not.
Or punch up, not down.
Yeah, I
whatever.
go, but that's not who I am. You know what I mean? I go, I'm a cocky son of a bitch kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't act like that normally. Why would I act like that on stage? So I kind of started throwing that a little bit on stage a little bit, and people like it. People are into it.
What better way to stand out as well
Yeah,
is to be yourself when everybody else is trying to fit the mold of what worked or what got.
yeah.
I
always say it's all, man, I'm gonna go up there and let my fucking nuts hang, man. I don't know about you guys, like, and it's like, but that's how it is, like, that's who I am as a person. Is when I do well, I don't boast or gloat or anything, but it's all like, yeah, I know. Like, people are like, man, that was crazy, Julian. You fucking did great up there. I go, yeah. I worked at it. I prepared for that. That was the goal.
Do you what do you guys are planning for the next coming year for you guys as a group?
For the next year? For the next year, man, we want to maybe start going on the road, hopefully.
That's what's up.
Going on the road. Not anything crazy, but just like hitting little spots here and there and taking our brand elsewhere, expanding and letting other people not only know how us three get down, but how Bakersfield as a whole comedy scene. Like, to kind of go on to that, like whenever I've been to San Francisco, I've been to Vegas or something like that and done open mics there. And whenever I go and finish my set or whatever, I've done La Jolla Comedy Store, I've done Hollywood Improv, and whenever I finish those sets, I go, my name's Julian Nieto and I'm from Bakersfield, California. Like, I always make sure to say that, like, to like put on for my city. Because when people hear Bakersfield, they think of cow patties and Oildale and meth and, and it's like, we're trying to reshape that, you know what I mean? And that's what we want to do with Go on the Road. We want to kind of get more into content, not sketches or anything, but more just like consistent content as far as like podcasting and stuff like that. And then, kind of marketing too, like get more into t-shirts and hats and, stuff that we enjoy, not as much as it's like, oh, hey, buy this. You're supporting me, like something that's like an exchangeable good. That's like, oh, I want that. Are you selling it? Kind of thing.
Did you? I don't know if you said post pandemic you guys started doing comedy, but I remember Andrew Boyson, man, that fool would hustle CDs, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, does he still do that?
I don't think so.
All right.
I don't think so. I think you could go and
it must be. It's
on SoundCloud.
I remember thinking like, how hard is it to sell a fucking CD right now, man? Like, my God, and he would fucking sell them, bro. He would sell a good 4 or 5 of them every night.
Yeah.
Or like change them people would change them like a beer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's just fucking funny.
Well, I have seasonings that I sell.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm a chef or whatever, so I could there's a reasoning for me to have seasoning. So I have barbecue seasoning that I actually use on all my stuff, and I sell it. I put a cool label on it and sell it at shows.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
How'd you come up with the recipe? Just like
it's
messing around, or is
it's passed down? It's like 3 generations.
3 generations.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. Who do you think is gonna? If anybody was to fuck up and give it out, who do you think it would be?
Me probably, because sooner or later I'm gonna have to. If I wanted to put in stores and shit like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you have to
but it doesn't have the ratios in it though.
Well, you could kind of get the ratios, because the biggest ingredient is first. The one that's mostly made out of. You could technically kind of try and find out the ratios, but it's not that big a deal. You know what I mean?
It's just good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good enough to sell. People like it. So,
what's been going on in the news?
In the news,
anything interesting? What do you, let me see. How old are you?
29.
29. Oh, you're not that much younger than me. It's fucking 7 years. How do you feel about Putin, man? This whole situation with Putin.
don't give a shit about any of that stuff, dog.
He's like, I don't give a fuck.
I really don't. I don't concern myself with any of that shit. I saw something that were like 15 minutes to midnight or some shit like that, as far as like the nuclear clock.
I've never understood that fucking clock thing, and I've been hearing it since I was a kid. I've Googled some of the dumbest shit in my fucking life. Never bothered to try to figure out what the fuck they're talking. I know the closer to midnight, the more likely we're gonna have a nuclear Armageddon or whatever the fuck. But I don't know how they. I think it's like an organization that like calculates or some shit. But I don't know how like what the fuck though.
I think it's just a cool way to say some shit.
It's like just to get people like feeling the pressure,
scared.
Like, yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, what the fuck are you gonna do? What the fuck am I gonna do?
Exactly.
What am I gonna go? There's nothing I can do. There's no difference in your perspective and how you're handling the situation and how like I'm maybe thinking about it have the same result.
Yeah.
You know, so really I'm more thinking about something for nothing. Just for like and I have my own little shit.
Do you worry about that shit?
I don't worry about it. I get a kick out of trying to see where it's gonna go. You know? Like I've heard people, you know, kind of with like the stock market where they're like they'll write down something, you know, like people can you know, you get like an app, you want to invest, you put like fake money and you want to just see how you're feeling. I kind of do that with politics. I like to see the situation and try to think what is happening here, and not really just like what's happening here, what's the cost and benefit of the perception of it from this or that. Like so like the Russian thing, like most people would be like, oh, Russia invaded Ukraine, he's an evil dude. My thing is like, bro, you just fucking fucked up the smoke and mirrors. We've been telling people how dangerous you are and building up our military, and then I show everybody you fucking suck, and we've had this shit for nothing.
Yeah.
And we're not spending all this money on military. We're spending it on other shit. We just been making it look like this, and now you fucked it up, and all we got left is China. You know, so like I think about it like that.
Yeah.
I don't really think about it of like freedom of the Ukrainian people, like they're just pawn. Not. I guess I wouldn't say like as an individual and as people I worry about them. It sucks that they're dying for the fucking pawns of like other fucking generals. You know, I hate that part. That part like that's fucked up. The rest of it is like, what am I gonna do about it? So let me enjoy the game, the sport, right? Just like the football game. I can't do nothing about it. I don't care how hard I cheer. The Raiders aren't. The Raiders might turning around, right? I'm gonna cheer all season, bro. But if I had or hadn't cheered, did it make a difference?
It did make a difference.
So I think I see politics and all this like war stuff as the same. I'm looking at it as like I make no difference, but let me at least try to figure it out. You know, what's their move? What are they going for? You know, are they gonna go for the Hail Mary, or are they just gonna play it safe? And same thing with them. I think for us, like the proxy, they call it proxy wars. So we're pretty much we're having a war with Russia without having to use our own soldiers.
A Cold War, right? Basically, is what it is.
Yeah, it's a newer version.
Yeah, I literally do not concern myself with any. Like I'll watch like shit on TikTok or whatever. Like I'll be scrolling and be like Vice News or something like that, and I'll listen to it. I'm like, oh damn. Like I was just listening to this other thing yesterday that in Europe, in France, there are literally lines to get gas are backed up onto the freeway, like backed up, like it's like 5, 6, 7, 8 hour long waits to go get gas because of gas shortages and because of the price of gas, and people's bills are getting so high. It was like in one country their bills have increased 1,000% in the past quarter or whatever, and people are starting to like protest. They're starting to burn their bills. They're saying don't pay your bills and watch how the infrastructure falls. So like that's going on all over England, France, Rome. All those places are kind of like wilding out right now with that. And I was like, oh damn, that's fucking crazy. I go, you know, like that's crazy, you know, but that's about where it ends.
Yeah, man. And there's different ways to look at that. You know what I mean? You can look at it as like fucking capitalism, fuck the world, you know, I'm gonna all emo and shit. Or you can just be like, they should have played the game better.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, like, I think it's like a multifaceted kind of thing, you know. It's definitely, it's, I don't know, I don't know. People could blame it on a million things, but I don't know.
How much money is too much money
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, for them, it's
for
like,
you? Like if like at what point would you? How much money would you have to have like secure? Right, just let's say no debt, right? No debt, and you have this stack of money.
mm-hmm.
Like, how much would it be for you to be like, I'm not gonna let people. Not that people do manipulate you, but you're gonna be at the point where you're like, you're not even like contemplating having to figure out something. You're just like, man, fuck you.
I don't know the exact, you know, dollar sign or whatever. I think it would be like, it would have to be with like what I have. You know what I mean? Like, fuck you money kind of thing. Like, you know, like I would have to be able to feel it, you know, like it'd be like, it's like, okay, like I have my own private plane. I have someone drive me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have, you know, like it just would be things that I wouldn't, like, I'd be like, okay, like, I think I'm good right here.
For me, I think it's similar. Is more money itself is whatever amount I have is just generating enough money to where, I mean, I really can't spend it.
Yeah.
You know, I just wait. Not that I have to like be all glamored out or some shit. You know what I mean? It's just more just if I feel like getting up and going somewhere, like there's nothing to hold me back.
That's what I was literally just talking about that with my girlfriend yesterday. I go, man, I think I'd be really good at being rich. I go, I'd just be hanging out. I'd be like, you know what? Hey, let's go to fucking Nepali. Let's go get a pizza or something like that, man. We're not doing nothing tomorrow. Let's go take off. And it's like just being able to do that at a moment's notice and be like, all right, bye.
I like how you named some place that was fancy. I have no idea what
It's like, you know, like Neapolitan pizza.
Okay.
You know how they have like the like original pizzas. That's where like they started.
Have you ever tried to ball out with your girl, bro, and realize that you're not in your lane? Not as in like it's too expensive or something like that, but more like you're not even enjoying it the way if it was in your lane you would have enjoyed the meal.
Nah, I
like you didn't order it right.
At most places, I'm kind of good at shit like that because I'm
the food,
yeah, because of food.
Guy.
But like, there's some places where I feel uncomfortable. Like when I go to like, I don't like going to like Caesar's Palace in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just don't feel comfortable there. Like they don't want me there. You know what I mean? Like,
wait, what?
Like they don't, like, not Caesar himself, but like, you know, the people there, like it's just a little too white over there, you know? And I just like, it just makes me feel uncomfortable and shit. Like I got a white girl now, but I've dated Mexican chicks and shit like that. And we're like kicking it. It's like, man, I think we need to go like to Fremont or something like, you know, we need to go to El Cortez or something. Like they don't want us over here at Caesar's Palace. You know what I mean? Like it's just different, you know?
You need some traumatized people around you and some
you know,
some triggers.
Yeah, I just need to be like fucking in a spot. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't. There's certain places that I don't feel comfortable in and shit.
I've me and my girl by no means are fancy, but you know we do well for ourselves, and so sometimes we're like, let's fucking go get a fucking steak, you know, like just like this is something, and then like I don't even know like what a good steak would be. So usually what me and her will do, at least what I will do, she usually gets what she wants. I just go at the menu and I go, what's the most expensive thing, and I'll be like, give me one of those, and then I usually like by the time I get it, I realize like, what the fuck did I get? Like what the fuck did I get, man? I ordered a fat ass lamb chop. And I was like, I didn't know how to order it. She was like, how do you want it cooked? And I was like, what would the chef recommend? Like, how would he want his steak eaten? And she's like, medium rare. And I was like, okay, bring a medium rare. In my mind, I know medium rare would mean that there's like a center that's not like what I would consider like fully cooked. But then the part you don't think about is how fat is the fucking the pork chop, the lamb chop. You know, the fucking lamb chop with that. It was so fucking fat, bro. When I bit it, it's not a feeling of like I've ever had eating meat before. Like it was just like like I bit it like it was cooked meat, and then all of a sudden my teeth just like they just dipped in full, and they just like the texture, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? And I remember like feeling it in my mouth, like I had raw meat in my mouth, and I was like, what the fuck? And my sister's like, that was the time I was eating with my sister, and she's like, well, you wanted it like that way, and I was like, I didn't think it was gonna be like this raw.
It's not raw. It's cooked to an internal temperature. You know what I mean? It's like 135 degrees, 140 degrees internal temperature. So it's
Yeah.
safe to eat.
Yeah, definitely. But
It's like that mind
just,
over matter kind of thing too, you know?
just not used to it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm used to cooking my meat all the way through. And shit,
So when
you
you
know,
have like a
overcooking most
so
of
when
my
you have a
shit.
steak, is it cooked all the way through, or
No,
will you do
no.
a steak medium rare?
I do everything medium rare, and then just because that seems to be what they recommend you get your meat, or at
Yeah.
least steaks. I don't know about like any. I've never ordered like a fat ass chicken breast or something.
You want chicken cooked as well.
Okay,
Definitely.
okay.
Yeah.
And uh, then the other day we went to KC Steakhouse,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was like, let's go there, man. It seems like I think it's supposed to be expensive or something. She goes, I think it is. I don't know. Let's go. So we go in there, and I'm like, she looks at I think she wanted like a steak, and then I wanted I think I wanted a steak or something like that. We ordered what we ordered, bro. Her shit was like $40, and it was a fat ass piece of meat, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking came with like side dishes. Like it was just fucking. It looked good. It smelled good. Dark as fuck in there for some reason. I don't know why, but from what I could see, the food looked fucking bomb too.
Yeah.
And so I get my shit, bro. Mind you, my shit was like $60.
Mm-hmm.
It's a steak this fucking big, bro.
Uh-huh.
It's the size of a fucking dollar bill thing. For I was like, what the fuck did I order?
Was it good?
Nothing that I would say like, god damn, but it was like, it wasn't like, I don't know what about it was so great, other than maybe it was like, I would say it wasn't about taste or texture. It was about probably like how rare it was or something. That's probably what gave it its price.
I think best steak in Bakersfield is Sorella's.
Where's that at?
Over on White Lane, or it's like
Sponsor.
it's over on District. It's like an Italian steakhouse. So, because my big thing is when I go and I eat steak, I like having a side of pasta with it, right? You know, like I don't want rice or fucking Normandy vegetable mix. You know, I don't want broccoli and carrots. I want a fucking good, nice pasta. You know what I mean? And most places you got to order the steak and it comes with mashed potato or this, and then you have to order like a side of fucking fettuccine Alfredo or something like that, however you want to do it. But this place you go and you could get it with white or red pasta, or you can even get like a seafood pasta on the side that has like shrimp and fucking scallops in it, and it's the bomb. And the steak just by itself is really good. They like marinate it, and it's really well seasoned. And then they bring it out, and it's a nice, healthy steak, and it's not too bad. It's affordable. It's affordable. It's like, you know, maybe about $25 for a steak.
Where'd you say you work in right now?
Where I work in?
Well, yeah.
For myself. I do comedy. I sell seasonings, and I get a catering job every once in a while.
Why don't you work at the well cooking?
I do over there, but not really. You know,
okay.
Just whenever they have enough cooks over there, and that, you know,
timing.
Yeah.
Kind of like how they do the Comedy Store. You just kind of work there, and then you just go up there and do your stage.
Kind of, yeah.
That would be dope.
Yeah, that's what Marcos does whenever he
That's
he cooks.
right. He does work there, right?
Yeah, whenever he cooks, he'll go up last. But I'm supposed to be getting an internship somewhere. Hopefully, I need to actually call the guy probably tomorrow and see what's up with that.